Although the Queen is in good health, the government still has plans in place in case she passed. In the papers, the government has set out a 10-day plan for how the UK will respond to the monarch's death. The documents state how to inform ministers of her passing and lay out the proper protocol for social media activity. Such is the incredible detail of planning. The documents show concern over the time in which flags can be flown at half-mast to honour the Queen, following the news of her death. During an exercise undertaken several years ago, Number 10 expressed concern flags could not be lowered within 10 minutes. While the Queen, 95, is in good health, a Number 10 official had warned Downing Street does not employ a flag officer and therefore may need to rely on an external contractor. The issue is thought to have been resolved. There are also concerns London will come under strain due to the high number of people entering the capital to pay their respects. According to Politico, the plans are included under Operation London Bridge, which is the code name a civil servant will tell the Prime Minister. In the days after her death, the royal family and the government has set out detailed plans for not just her passing but for Prince Charles' accession to the throne. When the Queen does pass, the royal family will issue a publication. A script will then be issued to permanent secretaries which will outline how they should inform their respective ministers. It states, "We have just been informed of the death of Her Majesty the Queen." Ministers and senior civil servants will also receive an email, a draft of which reads, "Dear colleagues, it is with sadness that I write to inform you of the death of Her Majesty the Queen." A national minute of silence will then be held to honour the monarch. In the wake of her death, the royal family and the UK government's websites will display a black banner or holding page. On Twitter, all retweets will be banned unless cleared by the head of communications in the UK government. The Prime Minister will also hold an audience with the new King, who will subsequently address the nation at 6 p.m. A 10-day plan is then set out for Charles' accession to the throne, which is termed Operation Springtide. At 10 a.m. the next day, the Accession Council will meet at St James' Palace to proclaim King Charles. On day 2, the Queen's coffin will return to Buckingham Palace or be taken to London if she had been in either Scotland or Norfolk. On day 3, Charles will then begin a tour of the UK starting in Edinburgh. Days 4 and 5 will then be followed by a service at St Anne's Cathedral in Belfast and a procession from Buckingham Palace to the Palace of Westminster respectively. The Queen will then lie in the Palace of Westminster for 3 days under planes codenamed Feather. It is during this time when the government fears London may become overwhelmed by the public. On day 10, a funeral will be held at Westminster Abbey.